Hi guys, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where I focus on early game and mid game stuff. Today's topic is going to be about spending. To spend or not to spend in Raid Shadow Legends. The reason for this video is pretty simple. This game incentivizes us heavily to spend money, which is absolutely understandable. I mean, that's the way it finances itself. But we really have to be careful how much we do actually spend in the end. So I do want to talk about free-to-play versus spender accounts, and I do want to talk about, if you decide to spend, what packs might have decent value for you. I'm not going to say which packs are worth it, because that's very weird thing to say when we talk about games, I think, and pixels on the screen, you know. But still, in the end, you spend time on the game, you have fun, so I think spending is absolutely fine. I'm definitely doing it. So yeah, I want to talk about which packs and what stuff has proper value in this game in comparison to everything else. Let's get the free-to-play versus spending discussion out of the way first. I have had quite a few accounts. I've had low spender accounts, I've had free-to-play accounts, and I've had an account where I spent quite a bit of money, a bit more than I would have liked to, due to different reasons. I mean, we all know how this game tries to lure us in to spend more. It sometimes does a pretty good job, I can tell. Yeah, but I've had a lot of experience with different approaches to this game. And the takeaway for me, and the takeaway that I want to share, is it's not more fun to spend in this game than it is to play it free to play. It might seem like it is more fun to spend. It might seem like, and it might feel like, when you spend for the first time and your progress just, you know, gets boosted, that this has been great and this is amazing. But after a while, the spending kind of it makes the progress that you make in this game a bit less important. And when you're free to play, you have a good pace. The stuff that you do is actually pretty rewarding, because the progress you make feels pretty great and feels self-made in some way, I guess. And when you progress through spending, it's always a bit like, all right, I've spent money, I've progressed super quickly, and that's super great, and then dopamine kicks, and then dopamine goes down again, because after spending and after the progress that you've made, it usually, you know, the progress slows down and things are not so great anymore. And this game always has a next hurdle that you need to take. It always has a next hurdle, and then you feel like, all right, I might want to spend a bit more just to get this hurdle done, and then I'm going to be fine. And then the next hurdle comes along. And so I feel like it's a never-ending story with spending, especially with shards. The value is pretty bad anyways when you buy shards for money. And yeah, there is no end to it, basically. And like I said, being free to play has been a lot of fun, has been absolutely great. At times, definitely more fun than spending, because the progress is properly paced, and you should probably look at this game more like something that you can do on the side and that is super fun on the side. And when you just make these jumps through spending, that's not really going to be a great experience. That being said, spending a little bit of money on the game obviously does help a bit. It does boost you a bit. Just try to see that it doesn't get out of control like it has done for me in the past. All right. I think I'm going to talk about the things that I have spent money on in this game very quickly now. Nah, I'm going to do that in the end. Let's first talk about packs that are actually worth it. And, well, let's first talk about packs that are not worth it. This, not worth it. This is actual rock bottom. This is the absolute worst. Second to that, popping up these offers. Like, generally, this one is actually strong. I'm going to talk about that later. But these offers, don't buy these offers. I wouldn't recommend to buy shards. I wouldn't recommend to buy any resources that just pop up. I only recommend to buy very specific packs, which I'm going to talk about now. The only exception might be legendary tomes, to be honest, because this one you won't get. This is so crazy, but you won't get a legendary tome under $5 per piece, under €6 per piece. which is absolutely crazy. So they are crazy expensive. But sometimes it's just when you have a legendary champion and you can't build him, you can't book him, the fund really goes down, you can't progress, you can't do anything with him. And he might be super, or she might be super important in order for you to take the next step. And then I can absolutely understand. I don't recommend it, but I can absolutely understand when you buy legendary tomes. In my opinion, they are the most important resource in the game. And so I do understand that. That being said, just from playing the game, nowadays, it's relatively easy to complete Nightmare or even Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss at some point, and you will get quite a few books from there, and you don't need to book every single legendary champion that you get, you know? Lemonisi, for example, she's perfectly fine without books on my account. And to Hanurak, she has books, but only those that she really needs, and I was lucky enough to save 2 books on her A1. 20% more chance on a decreased speed is not too important in my opinion. So just be a bit mindful with your resources, and you might find that you can save up a few of these quicker than you think. Just a quick side note, just a quick tip. All right, so that being said, right, one more very small thing. when there might be one place that I would still buy shards, one situation where I might still buy shards, and that is doing a fusion, noticing, damn, I can't do this fusion. I have spent energy and time, and now there is this point where I've miscalculated the shards that I have or the shards that I need, and if I buy one pack, hopefully smaller than this one, the best way to buy shards, by the way, is from here, 900 gems for 11 shards. That's the best that you're going to get. And that completes the fusion. That's the only situation where I feel like it is actually decent to buy shards. Right, packs that are actually worth it. Let's get to it. Daily gem pack, no surprise there, absolutely amazing in comparison to everything else. You can even argue that without comparing it to other stuff, this still has decent value. You know, when you think about what you can buy these days for this kind of money, and you consider how much time you spend in this game, or you can spend with 2,140 gems, then this is pretty decently priced. Next, Forge Pass. This is the only thing that I would put on a similar level with the daily gem pack. The Forge Pass, it gives us so much gear. It gives us so much gear when we buy it. We still have to complete it, but it's very easy when we've bought it. And it gives us so much 5-star and 6-star legendary and epic gear that I feel like this can really power boost your account. If you consider farming stage 20, for example, of Dragon, or even 24, probably even hard mode of the dungeons, if you consider how long you would have to grind these dungeons, these stages, and how much energy you would have to spend in order to get this much strong gear, legendary and epic, 6-star stuff, 5-star stuff, then the Forge Pass, I think for $23.99, has a pretty great price. Right. Talking about the sets, I think Righteous is the best set that you can get from the Forge Pass. There is definitely very different opinions on this. Some say Bolster is great, others have other opinions. I feel like Righteous is absolutely amazing and sometimes overlooked. It's basically a speed set, but you also get 40 resistance. When you need resistance on a champion, putting 6 pieces on that champion, giving you 120 resistance, also getting like some resistance, 40 to 80 resistance from the Great Hall if you do a bit of arena, then this is going to get you to such a comfortable spot in order to build your champion with the resistance that you need, that I feel like this set is absolutely bonkers for progression and still crazy great in late game. I know what I'm talking about because I bought the Forge Pass a couple of times on my high spender account, and this set never disappointed. And it's also so useful in so many cases. It's absolutely amazing. Even if you don't resistance, just utilize the speed and you'll get crazy amounts of legendary pieces. So Forge Pass, absolutely crazy. Let's talk about 2 more packs in the shop, and then I have 2 more things that are a bit more special and a bit more niche and have conditions for you, or have conditions before you can buy them. That being said, the two offers I'm going to talk about also have conditions. Unfortunately, now the Apprentice, the Forge Pass and also the Daily Gem Pack are the only two packs that you can buy regularly with really great value, in my opinion. The two packs I'm going to talk about now, you will only get these offers when you haven't spent money for a long time in the game. Long time. Warrior Circle pack, in my opinion, or in my experience, you'll get this after 4 weeks without spending. This is an offer from Plarium to incentivize you to spend again, basically. So they have made this pretty valuable, or yeah, given this a pretty good value. Here the first choice that you can make is 800 gems or 4 void shards, considering that 800 gems is worse than the Daily Gem Pack for that price point. Even with the other stuff included, I would go for the Void Shard, I would go for the Legendary Tome, which is definitely the highest value, and then probably for the Silver or whatever. Considering that Void Shards are usually 3 euros a pop, meaning that you already get to 12 euros in this case, and then the Legendary Tome absolutely brings this home. So this is a very valuable pack. And this here just popped up 6 hours ago, I think, and that's very lucky and a great timing for this guide, because I didn't really have this on my mind or on my plate. I didn't remember that this pack existed, and I think this pops up after 6 weeks without spending, and it's the best Soulstone pack that you're going to get in this game, basically. I wouldn't recommend the big one, even though you can do it, and then maybe put it like this, and you'll get this for 30 bucks. Even though I think the best value is probably going to be this. And just as a comparison to make this very easy, it's 53 small soulstones for 30 euros. You won't get a better soulstone pack. At least I have never seen a better soulstone pack. However, this is also under the condition that you haven't spent money in a long time, in 6 weeks in this game. Like I said, I personally feel like this would probably be the best value. You could also go like this, whatever you like, you know. Okay, so that is the shop for me. Like I said, the rest I don't really consider to be high value. I don't really consider anything else to be of high value. That being said, it can happen that on special events like Christmas or Easter, sometimes Plarium decides to give us 1 or 2 packs which actually have proper value, but it's not very often, and I don't have examples right now. I guess everybody's going to have to decide that for themselves at that point. Right, now I have 2 more things that I want to talk about. One is the Apprentice Pass. The condition here is that you are a new player. You'll get this pass, I think, at level 10 or something, right when you start into the game. And this is, I think it was for 23 euros as well. This has pretty great value. You'll get 5-star chickens, I think 5-star chickens. You'll get gear, pretty good immortal gear, a lot of silver, a lot of epic tomes, and you'll get Rected Wrath in the end. And this is also a pretty reasonable way to start into the game and to boost your account. That's really going to help you to get to those stages where you can farm a bit more efficiently pretty quickly. Right. The most valuable thing that you can buy in this game is this, though. This is the last thing I want to talk about today. This is the Revival Pass, and everybody can get it. It's just a big question if you want to. The price for this is being offline for 21 days and then spending 23 bucks. I think it's 19 US dollars or 20 US dollars, so it's usually 24 euros, 23.99. And this pack is going to give you an insane amount of just resources and stuff that you can utilize. And in the end, there stands Elva Autumnborn, an absolutely amazing support. I've had her on my last 2 accounts for some reason, Well, on one account, I actually got her from the guaranteed event, and on my second account, I just pulled her from a random shard. That was so crazy lucky, and she's an absolute beast. She's so crazy for progression and also amazing in endgame. Helps different unkillable teams, and she's a great champion, and you can get her for 23 euros. Just as a comparison, when they did the He-Man, the champion pass, I think that was at least 50 bucks. And you didn't get as great resources on the side. Just a little tip. You might be saying now, why would I be offline for 21 days? I mean, this game is about playing the game, and I'm absolutely agreeing. I won't be going offline just to get Elva. But I will have a phase, I think 4 weeks in spring, where I will only be able to play very little. I'll be very busy, and I'm very much considering, when I can play so little anyways, I might just go offline completely for at least 21 days, or for a bit more, maybe 22, 23, just to make sure, and then come back to the game and find Elva Autumnborn ready to go. Well, not ready to go, but ready to be bought with the revival pass. All right, that's it. It's really unfortunate that the only two really strong packs that you can buy are the Forge Pass and the Daily Gem Pack. Nothing new there. I think it's pretty widely known that that these two are the best packs, but yeah, Plarium doesn't really. I mean, there was the we had the champion pass with Frozen Banshee, Stag Knight, but that was so long ago, and Plarium has already confirmed that they are not going to do anything like that anymore. So that's the best thing, or the best way that I would spend my money if I did. Right, I just remembered I wanted to talk about what I have bought so far. I've bought one Daily Gem Pack, I've bought the Apprentice Pass, which we talked about, and got Wrecked Draft from that, and I'm very happy about that. Just got her in some Impulse gear alongside Relentless, which I'm very happy about. I'm gonna make a guide on her at some point for sure. And I've also bought one pack. I think everybody gets that offer in the beginning. Let me think about this. 2 legendary tomes, 2 5-star chickens, 4 void shards, and I think like 100 gems and something else which didn't matter. And that was $23.99. And at that time, every single resource really ticked the box. Even the 5-star chickens were very valuable to me at that time, because I wanted to get my champions up and my campaign farmer up as quickly as possible in order to be able to farm efficiently. Looking back now, that was probably not the greatest decision to buy that, especially considering that I could have bought a Forge Pass for the same price, and that would have definitely helped me much, much more. On the other hand, always consider what you want to buy, and also consider what that is going to do to your account. I'm actually right now quite happy that I'm not buying any Forge Passes at the moment, because it is going to give me back a proper feeling for progressing in Raid. I haven't progressed this relaxed. Not like I'm pretty active, but I haven't progressed like this in this game for, I think, at least 2 or 3 years now. And I'm having fun. I'm having fun building the champions with only the gear that I got from campaign and from dungeons. I mean, this is still from campaign. Just mixing stuff together if I have to. Just looking where I can find and where I can get the best gear possible. Yeah, I'm actually doing Spider right now, which is very, very needed, because I have very, very bad accessories. I'm actually kind of enjoying the lack of resources and trying to just fit stuff together. All right. That was just another way of saying free-to-play is actually quite fun, or low spending, similarly fun. All right, I hope this has made sense. I hope it has helped. I hope you might, consider my advice about spending on this game. If I'm going to spend in the future, I'm probably going to talk about that in future videos, but I'm not looking to spend any money in the near future. Like I said, I have enough gems. I don't see why I would spend any money at the moment or in the near future. I'm banking all my shards. You know, you can get very far in this game just using your resources very wisely and very slowly. Alright, that's it. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you on the next video. All the best. Until then, bye.